We are now into Friday TGIF edition of the show, the number one show for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, the hype man for all things Bama football talk. Touchdown, Alabama magazine, coming to you from the beautiful city of Birmingham, streaming you the show, on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, go ahead right now, give us a thumbs up, a like on the show. Hit that subscribe button, turn on all those notifications, hit that bell so that way you can get all the best in news, notes, information, and commentary on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. We also got you covered here on Facebook and Twitter as well. All forms of social media streaming to you the show. So no excuse for you not to be locked into the number one forum here when you discuss the Crimson Tide. We got a lot to dive in, a lot to talk about. Did the SEC drop a bombshell that was bigger than what Julio Jones told Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed? They did. Now, of course, Julio didn't know he was live, but the SEC dropped a bombshell. We'll talk about that. We'll also have our own Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, coming on a little bit later on to talk about all the camping going on, the athletes going to camp out at Alabama, the recruits that are getting offers, all of the things that deal with recruiting. It'll be fun to talk with Justin about that. And then another one of my interesting top five lists. You know, we got the second-year players, the sophomores for the Crimson Tide. So, my top five sophomores that you, as the Bama Nation, excited to see dominate, take over the game of football, and just, be tremendous players. But right now, we got to do this right now. Boom, bam, bang. Jimmy Clay starting us off. That $100 donation into the Super Chats. Appreciate my man Jimmy the Bears donating the game. Clay starting us off strong on the show. And by himself, he has gotten the daily Super Chat goal of $75. Daily Super Chat goal. Appreciating Jimmy Clay and everybody else who helps us out as well. Appreciate the passion that you show and always show. We got a lot to get to, a lot to discuss and talk about tonight. Team 25 taking on UCLA in the semifinals of the Women's College World Series tonight. ESPN2, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That game going on. And after the way, Montana K-Zone GOAT Fouts pitched against Arizona. 16 strikeouts, 2 hits, only gave up 1 run, no walks. And people kind of don't understand how impressive that performance was. When you look at taking on an Arizona team that's the biggest power in softball, 8 national championships there, and they have 3 huge bats in their lineup: Jessie Harper, Deja Molipola, and Alessa Palomino Cardoza. All 3 of those girls, they couldn't hit her. They couldn't get to Fouts. Fouts gave up 1 hit between the trio of those girls, and it was the Jessie Harper home run in the top of the 7th. If that rise ball would have took a quick, sharp right turn at Albuquerque, Harper would have chased it out of the zone for strike 3, and none of the power hitters would have gotten anything off Montana, but it is what it is. Bama got the 5-1 win in the bats behind Bailey Hemphill, but those young ladies came to play, especially Abby Dorr. Nobody had Abby Dorr hitting a 2-run jack off the left center field wall. Nobody saw that happening from Abby Dorr, who came in batting the $132 before that situation happened. But the dugout was like, holy crap, let's go! Like, they did not see that happening from Abby Dorr, but that's what it takes. You have to have girls stepping up to take some of that pressure there off one Bailey Hemphill. So excited to see Team 25 go into tonight as well as it tries to get into the championship series. But we want to hear from you tonight. 205-448-1358. That is the number to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you. But we start the conversation off like this. The SEC dropped a bombshell on yesterday. During the softball game, the presidents and chancellors within the conference, they voted to approve having the student athletes be able to transfer within the conference and play immediately, be immediately eligible to play. And when this rule was approved and the information dropped, Alabama fans went, oh my gosh, this means we're going to have Henry To'oTo'o. This means Henry To'oTo'o is going to be immediately eligible to suit up to play for the Crimson Tide, an inside linebacker on this defense, and knock people clean off the face of the earth. I mean, the SEC dropped the biggest dagger to the rest of college football because, coming into this whole situation, we all knew that the Alabama defense was going to be good anyway. Even before To'oTo'o made the move to get in the transfer portal and then commit to Alabama, showing it off there on his social media, and prior to even this rule coming in play, we all knew that the Alabama defense was going to be strong. It was going to shake back in the upcoming season. It was not going to have a lot of the struggles that it had in 2020. We all kind of had an idea that the Alabama defense was going to be better in the fall, but to have To'oTo'o hit the portal, to have him state on Twitter he's coming to Alabama, committed to Alabama, and then for the SEC, the presidents and chancellors, to look at Nick Saban and go, well, Coach Saban, we already know you're loaded. We already know you got all the players known to mankind. We already know you have all the talents, but have another one, Nick Saban. Have another cream puff. Have another big-time player. Have another marquee name. Have another tremendous talent. And they just served Nick Saban, Henry To'oTo'o on a platter. This is going to be incredible for the Alabama defense here in the upcoming season. Bama's defense just got all the more boom, all the more potent, all the more exciting. And I understand, I get it. It's an offensive league now. It's an offensive game now. Teams are going to score points. Teams are going to drive the football. It's all about the offense, and I understand the evolution of the game, and I understand how the game has changed and is continuing to change, but you still have those Alabama fans out there that are very passionate about, Stephen, we still need a defense. Stephen, we still need something to combat these offenses. Stephen, we still need to be able to put a fearsome group on the defensive side of the ball and show them a little something and get a little something done and have a little production on defense. You still have fans that feel that way, and you can't argue with them. And you can't argue with them because they're right. In the last 3 years, we have seen the Crimson Tide have some struggles there on defense. Now, last season was better. The defense got better down the stretch. They made improvements. You were able to see guys sacking the quarterback, i.e. Will Anderson. You were able to see guys do much better against the run, i.e. Christian Barmore, among others. And you were able to see more turnovers being forced when you talk Malachi Moore and Brian Branch, among others. But at the same time, you have a lot of Tide fans that want to see this year's defense take that next step in getting more sacks, stopping the run more, forcing more turnovers. And the addition of To'oTo'o really allows this to happen here for Alabama. And the young man is already on campus. He is already on campus. He's going through team workouts. He's going through team workouts where he's been doing a little bit of the leg work drills. He's been working out with the medicine ball in the indoor practice facility. He's been doing some wind sprints, kind of running drills, little resistant wind sprint running drills. Like Dr. Matt Ray has already gotten his hands on To'oTo'o and has the young man going to work. So he's already starting to feel at home. New team, new program, new swag, new vibe, new area, and he's already hitting the ground running, getting the job done. Now, what this also does, this gives Nick Saban so much depth, but most importantly, so much leverage at the inside linebacker position. You already know Christian Harris is going to play. That's a guarantee. You already know he's going to start But the other guy that will play next to him at that Mike linebacker, that middle linebacker position, here's where the leverage is, because you've got Toto, who has experience. Then you have Jalen Moody, of whom Coach Saban said he can play Mike or Will, and had a tremendous spring. And Shane Lee is still on the roster. And Lee, 2019, as a freshman, stepped up in there, played at that Mike linebacker position, and had some success there. 86 tackles, had quite a few tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. He did have quite the amount of production as a true freshman. So Saban can play this one of two ways, and either or would work. You could either start Jalen Moody because he's a senior and spot play to Oto, seeing how Henry is a junior, and you can convince him to come back for a senior year, or you could start to Oto, spot play Moody, and get Moody's numbers up to where he is on the level or the horizon. He's on the board, as I'm trying to say. He's on the board for a lot of these mock drafts, a lot of these NFL draft pundits, a lot of these analysts, a lot of these NFL scouts. You can have him on the radar of a lot of these different personnel groupings if you chose to spot play Moody and get him a lot of time in there. But the purpose is, the point being, a lot of U.S. fans, with Toto being immediately eligible to play, here come your thoughts. This defense can truly be what the 2016 defense was. This defense truly has a shot to do what that 2016 group did, or at least come close to it. And I get it. People don't like expectations. The 2016 group was the 2016 group. Leave that group alone. That's unfair. That's not right. Let this group define what this year's group wants to be. Don't put that don't put that unnecessary expectation to be the 2016 team or to be like that team upon that group. But when you look at Toto in here and you see the dogs that the 2016 team had, the 2021 group, this particular group right here, has those types of dogs on it, and adding this new man, this new talent to the fold, this is just going to be really, really fun as the SEC has served up a pitch, and Nick Saban is about to crank it out of the yard, hitting that Bailey Hemphill and Matty Dorr. Why don't you, Nick Saban? Go ahead and do that thing, man. But we take our break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting started. Upon our return, we get to a dialogue with you, the Tide faithful, right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
As we are back into the action here, folks, on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Number one ticket here for Bama football. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Once again, folks, Team 25, Bama softball, taking the diamond tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, ESPN2, Bama UCLA. Winner moves on to the Champ Series of the Women's College World Series. Going to be an awesome matchup right there. I think it's going to be Montana Fouts versus Rachel Garcia. I'll fact check that. But if that is the case, you got two aces in the circle right there. But as we're back in here from the break, we're in the phone lines here to take your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. That is the number to call and let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you, but as you're getting your thoughts in here, cool little topic. I was at the Knicks Kids event on yesterday at the old Overton golf course, Vestavia Hills here in the Birmingham area. And Saban wasn't able to have this event last year due to COVID, but it was good to see Coach Saban out there. He was in the middle of cell phones, cameras, tape recorders, that sort of thing. And a couple of things that Coach Saban addressed was the big one. He mentioned how Alabama is back to normal in terms of the players, the coaches, support staff, all the powers that be in the football program, everybody, vaccinated. They're just about at that threshold where everybody's been vaccinated, so you won't have to deal with, or they will not have to deal with having to take a whole bunch of COVID tests. So the players have been vaccinated, coaches have been vaccinated, support staff has been vaccinated, so that's really huge. Saban said, hey, we're back to normal, and all things that can help us continue to be back to normal make me happy. That's coming from, Coach Saban, as he also mentioned how he's happy to have the recruits visiting the campus and guys coming to camp and guys getting offers. He's happy to have the current players, back on the campus working out, going through the summer program with David Ballou and Dr. Matt Ray and athletic trainer Jeff Allen. Just so much good going on with the program. Saban very excited right now. He talked about the potential chemistry that this team can have and mentioned that the leadership on the team is starting to really grow. You're starting to kind of identify who the leaders will be, who the guys that are going to be the vocal guys, the guys that will lead by example, the guys who are going to speak. So these are all very pivotal factors when you talk about trying to become back-to-back national champions and defend your title as champions. But hold on here, folks. Hold on. We got a couple of super chats. McConaughey, jeez. McConaughey, 105. $1.05 in the super chats from McConaughey. He knocks it out of the park. And then right behind McConaughey, we got another person here. John Opry, who's another person? We got Philip Davis with that $4.99 helping us out in the super chat. McConaughey, Philip Davis, and Jimmy Clay, all three of them jumping in here like House of Pain, jumping around, helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the love from every single last one of you guys. We take a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Hey, Steven, how's it going?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Proud to see everybody, making this their show, and excited to see Bama softball tonight.
Yeah, man. This is Tim, and I'm calling from Baton Rouge again. Good to hear from you again. I'm very excited. All summer, or actually all spring, I've been, praying that Toa would be eligible, because I think he's a difference maker when it comes to our defense. We've been lacking that dog mentality at linebacker, and I watched him for 2 years. The guy has a knack for the ball. He does. He will come up and pop. That's gonna be the factor. I can't see him sitting the bench if he's healthy. There's no way.
I mean, this was big for Coach Saban. This was really big. And you look at a guy that, when you have an individual that's got 23 games under his belt, 22 career games as a starter, he's been incredibly productive. It's almost like in recruiting, Alabama didn't need to go out there and get Kamar Wheaton, but Nick Saban said, I can't turn this kid down. I can't look away from this kid. I got to get him. So it's the same thing with transfer portal. You have a young man with that much experience, that much production, and you wanted him from the jump as a freshman, but he didn't choose you at first. But now you have him back, and you have him back with major experience in the SEC. That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge, because the last couple of years we've been we've been kind of lacking at the linebacker position, especially the middle linebacker. With my guy from my hometown, I can't think his name right now.
Dylan Moses.
Oh yeah, Dylan Moses. He was like always a step behind, but now I tell you what, with Kristen Harris and Henry To'oTo'o, I mean, that's big. That's huge.
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for fall camp to get here. I know I'm rushing it, but Tim, I'm waiting for fall camp to get here so we can get this thing done. But Tim, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate Tim calling in there from Baton Rouge, starting us off here on this show. We got a couple more super chats to get to as you guys are pouring it in. We've got Keith Jones with that $5 donation. Appreciate Keith. Is that New Jack? That is New Jack. That 888 coming from New Jack. Helping us out here on the show. You guys continuing to make this your show. Grateful, appreciative to every single last one of you. But to kind of end the topic here, got a chance to spend some time with Coach Saban on the golf course yesterday, and just excited about things being back to normal, everybody being vaccinated, everybody being well taken care of medically so that we don't have to go through all these COVID tests. And the chemistry on the team, he is starting to locate the leaders. The leaders are starting to rise up. That's huge also, so that makes me very much so excited and thrilled here for the upcoming season. But we take a break right now. Upon our return, we sit down with the real MVP, Justin Smith, to talk some recruiting right after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
As we're back in here from the break, folks, in my own words, Friday, TGIF edition of the show, number one show for Bama football news. I saw in the chat line where Willie351, he wants the horn too, John. So here we go. Willie351, that's 777. He got it here. Kill the horn. We got the love coming in here for Willie351. Appreciate him helping us out here in the Super Chats as well. But we go to the phone lines here. We pick up the real MVP, the real boots on the ground. No one covers recruiting quite like this guy. And if you think you cover recruiting quite like this guy, you are sadly mistaken. Stop capping. We got Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, on the phone line. Justin, man, happy Friday. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good, Steven.
Good to have you on the phone lines here, Justin. So June 1st over. We got so many young athletes camping out at Alabama, so many athletes getting offers, so many athletes taking visits. Coach Saban says everything's back to normal. He's pumped up. He's happy about it. But the first guy I got to bring up, Justin, is Oscar Delp, the 4-star tight end here. What intrigues you about him? What has you excited about him? Talk to us about Oscar Delp and what he could mean if Alabama was to be able to get him for the 2022 class. Oscar Delp.
Well, first off, Alabama is looking to add another tight end to the 2022 recruiting class. They have the verbal commitment from 4-star tight end Elijah Brown, but they definitely want to add another tight end in this class. And Oscar Delp could be that guy. He's more of a receiving tight end. You see all of the different tight ends across college football today. he fits that mold that Jaleel Billingsley kind of fits within Alabama's offense at the moment. A tight end that is more of a wide receiver hybrid. So he's one of those type of prospects, one of those new age tight ends, if you were to say that. So I definitely think he will be a huge pickup for Alabama. They got him on campus on Tuesday, the first day. The recruiting dead period was over. He said he enjoyed the visit. He has multiple official visits lined up this summer. 4. He has one that is up for grabs. After that visit, he told me that Alabama was in the lead to possibly land that last official visit, but he has not made any plans as of yet. But Alabama looks to be in a great position. He has a great relationship with Ty's wide receiver coach, Harmon Wiggins, so he is definitely a prospect to keep your eyes on as the summer progresses.
As we flip here now, Justin, from offense to defense, we got a linebacker by the name of T.J. Dudley, a guy that can stop the run. He can blitz. He can cover a little bit. Young man can do it all out there on the field. Talk to me about Dudley. Where could he fit in Nick Saban's mindset in terms of that linebacker position for 2022? Where does Dudley fall in your mind?
Well, Dudley is a very versatile linebacker, one of the more versatile linebackers in this 2022 recruiting class. This is a kid who actually plays a little bit of safety in one of his defensive sets at Montgomery Catholic. When it's third and long, he translates to the safety position. So he's a guy who has a lot of versatility. He has grown into more of an inside linebacker, especially during his junior season at Montgomery Catholic. He had a pretty productive season with them, with the Knights. They made it to the state championship. Unfortunately, they did lose, but he did help lead that defense to that state championship game. So it's definitely grown a lot as a true inside linebacker. He plans to be on the campus of the University of Alabama on June 19th. He was set to visit this week, but Alabama coaches said it was best for him to come on June 19th. He has several official visits lined up for the summer. He will officially visit Oregon. He will take a visit to UCF as well. He wants to officially visit Alabama in the fall, but he wants to get on campus multiple times during this summer. He told me that he's going to be in Tuscaloosa, Austin, as many times as possible.
If you're just tuning into the show on a Friday, folks, we got Justin Smith, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama magazine, on the phone lines here on In My Own Words. So, Justin, just for the guys that have received offers here from Coach Saban and the Crimson Tide, who are some of the big players here, the big marquee recruits that you have seen get these offers right now?
Well, of course, I think everyone was blown away by the 14-year-old lineman who got an offer from Alabama, Asundre Alfor. Him getting an offer from the Crimson Tide was pretty big. It is not often that they offer a 14-year-old kid, so that was a pretty impressive offer.
I miss my calling, Justin. I miss my calling.
Yeah. Well, that was a huge offer for that kid. Caleb Presley getting an offer, a 2023 four-star defensive back out of Washington. That was another huge offer. Another guy who got a huge offer from the Crimson Tide. A lot of Washington guys did visit and camp at the University of Alabama recently, so those guys getting offers was really huge. So those are a couple of prospects that come to mind in terms of guys who recently got an offer. I know Chris McClellan, a four-star defensive end out of Oklahoma, also earned an offer from Alabama recently, but he did not camp at Alabama. That offer came basically off of his film and him reaching out to Alabama's coaching staff and feeling that he could possibly be a good defensive end inside of 2022 recruiting class in the future. So a couple of guys have recently gotten offers. I expect Alabama's offer list to get much longer in the future just based on the camps that Alabama has set up. So when you look at normally, Justin, Nick Saban prioritizes different positions on the recruiting trail, whether he's prioritizing quarterback or running back, receiver, doesn't really matter. But every year there are different positions where Alabama targets. We got to get more of guys that fit in this role right here or this spot right here. So if you could name maybe a couple of roles or spots, which positional groups that Alabama is targeting with this respective class? I think they want to continue beefing up the defensive line. I think that is a position of priority, specifically a defensive end position. They did not really land guys who are going to play an inline defensive end position in the 2021 recruiting class. They did pick up a commitment from Montel Goodwine, but outside of him, And outside of him and Quinn Barnes, they did not really focus on that position in the 2021 class. I expect them to put more of a focus on that position here in this 2022 class. I think the wide receiver group will not be as big, but they will definitely get some guys. Nick Saban continues to go after defensive backs no matter what the numbers look like. He's going to get the amount of defensive backs that he wants to sign with his class and in any particular class. So I expect defensive back class to be on pace to what Alabama has signed basically over the last couple of recruiting cycles. I see the linebacker position being pretty much the same. The offensive line position will obviously not be as big as the 2021 class. So I think the running back position, we'll see a couple of guys there. Tight end position, as I said earlier, you may also see a couple of guys there.
He's Justin Smith, folks, the scouting and recruiting analyst for Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming on here to give us the scoop on the recruiting trail as athletes camping out on the University of Alabama campus, taking in those visits, and Nick Saban happy to see everything getting back to normal. Justin, appreciate you coming on. Stay safe, man. Take care of yourself. Be good.
You do the same, Judah.
Always great getting a chance to catch up with Justin Smith doing his thing, scouting these athletes on the recruiting trail. We take a break right now, folks, but when we get back, we dive into the phone lines to take more of your calls. You're listening to In My Own Words.
Touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full-year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we are rocking and rolling back in, folks. Back in from the break of a number one forum here for Crimson Tide Football News, TGIF edition of the show. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. It's back on you, Tide Nation, as we go to the phone lines taking your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. That be the number to let your voice be heard right now, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. I want to thank everybody that's been donating with the Super Chats. You guys have been incredible tonight. Appreciate all the love that you're showing here to us, making this your show. But as you're getting your thoughts together to call in, cool topic right here. It goes to DeVonta Smith. Smitty has signed his rookie deal for the Philadelphia Eagles. It is a 4-year, fully guaranteed deal worth $20.1 million. He'll have a $12 million signing bonus. He will make a little bit over $5 million in terms of his salary for 2021 season here in the fall. Congrats to Smitty, who has been dominating OTAs for the Eagles. Nick Sirianni, the head coach, has nothing but just incredible things to say about the young man. If you've been watching him on Twitter, Smitty's been making catches left and right, one-handed, two-handed, no-handed. Well, you can't make a no-handed catch, but one-handed, two-handed, getting one foot down, both feet. He's been making catches everywhere, people. Smitty is out there doing his thing. He becomes the 5th player that was drafted in the first round in this year's venue for Alabama to ink the rookie deal, which means Mac Jones is the last first-rounder yet to ink his deal for the Patriots. So hopefully soon, Bill Belichick will put the contract in front of Mac so Mac can sign his contract. But Smitty signed his deal today. We'll sign his deal this week. Once again, a 4-year, fully guaranteed deal, $20.1 million, $12 million signing bonus. Will make a bit over $5 million for this upcoming season. He will also have that 5th-year option there for the Eagles. But as always, people, 205-448-1358. That is the number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. But like I said, I am just really excited right now about tonight's softball game between Alabama and UCLA. You got two great arms in the circle, potentially Montana Fouts and Rachel Garcia. If not Montana Fouts, then Patrick Murphy will more so go with Lexi Kilfoyle, who had a really good regional performance against Alabama State and then followed it up with a good super regional performance against Kentucky. So if they go with Kilfoyle, she goes out there and handle these UCLA bats. They've got some pop in that lineup. Bubba Nichols at the top of the lineup. I think Brianna Tatalafua is still there. She can really hit. Aaliyah Jordan may be still there. She may not be, but Tatalafua and Bubba Nichols, both of those two still there. So definitely interesting to watch tonight. Also, how about Joshua Lanier, the former Alabama walk-on wide receiver who put out the epic viral video? He has committed to Jackson State University, teaming up with one Deion Sanders over there in HBCU country. So proud of my man Joshua Lanier. He's going to do big things. He's going to do big things over there at Jackson State. Going to be a success story right there. And also Scooby Carter, who was at one point in Alabama. Carter is now with Arkansas State. He has teamed up with Butch Jones. So Joshua Lanier, Jackson State University, Scooby Carter at Arkansas State. And also, how about Mark Ingram? He is now more than just a national champion, Heisman Trophy winning running back and an NFL running back, but he is now part of the ownership group for DC United of Major League Soccer. He has become an owner. He's become part of the ownership group of DC United as an investor. So Mark Ingram putting on his business mogul hat. I know Coach Saban's got to be proud of that young man right there. But we take a break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back, I will get into my top 5 sophomores, top 5 second-year players at Bama that U.S. fans are ready to see snap, turn up, and do some big-time things on the field. We'll discuss it after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, folks, back into the action here from the break with number 1 ticket for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have everybody tuning in, chatting in, super chatting in, donating in. You guys have been awesome, phenomenal today. Appreciate you guys making this your show here when discussing Alabama football. But as always, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So for all of you Bama fans still overjoyed with the Tide's national championship, we want you to check out our championship collection merch. Now, this means you grab you an 18 of them things, folk, hoodie, t-shirt, or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18 We Do shirts. Designs that feature all 18 championship years on the back. You go to tdawear.com right now. Head over there right now, tdawear.com. You go to the championship collections merch tab. You get that gear today, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at TDA. But we now continue the cool summer, top 5 list here, because at this time of the year, not a lot of action is going on, so we can have some fun here with these types of discussions. And we're going to look at here the sophomores, the second-year players for Alabama that you as fans, y'all want to see tear it up. Y'all want to see dominate. You guys want to see these individuals have major success on the field. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually pull Malachi Moore and Will Anderson out for a minute, because we saw both of those two ball out last year. We saw a lot of both of them. Both of those two were big time. Both of those two freshman all SEC, freshman all American. Malachi Moore, second team all SEC. We saw a lot of Anderson and Moore. Saw a lot of both of them. So the expectation for those two, it's already high. So we don't necessarily have to talk about those two. This topic becomes the other guys that we did not see enough of last year that can do the big boy thing, like Malachi Moore and like Will Anderson. So here we go here. Top 5 sophomore, second-year players, according to yours truly, that U.S. fans want to see ball out in the fall, from 5 to 1. At number 5, Brian Branch in the secondary. Brian Branch, defensive back, you guys are ready to see him. And this is a young man of whom, when he left Sandy Creek High School in Georgia, he left as the program's all-time leader for interceptions. You watch his high school tape, he is a ball hawk. He is a ball magnet. He attacks the football, and when the ball hits his hands, he knows how to go coast to coast with it and take it to the crib. He is a high-volume interceptions type of guy. Now, he did play in 11 games last year. He made 2 starts in the college football playoff against Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, and, of course, Ohio State in the national championship game. In discussing him, he had 27 tackles a season ago, 7 pass breakups, 2 interceptions there, for him. And when you just look at Branch in the upcoming season here, Bama's got to have a way to get him on the field. Nick Saban has got to find a way to get him on the field, either as a starter. I would like to see him be a starter, but at least as a huge contributor, just getting major minutes here, whether, first guy off the bench, especially when you talk about the Alabama nickel package, which they run, 90% of their defense out of nickel. They do go some dime. They do go some 3-4. But, Nick Saban only goes dime if he absolutely has to. He can nickel you all day long. So where nickel is the majority of a defensive set that Alabama runs, you want to see Brian Branch out there more so on the field in that nickel package. He attacks the ball. He plays well in run support. He can create turnovers. Big-time playmaker. Number 5, Brian Branch. U.S. fans want to see this young man on the field. Going on down from 5 to 4 here, Drew Sanders, an outside linebacker. People are ready to see Drew Sanders, the Captain America, because he looks like Captain America, of Alabama football on this field. And even though after the spring game, when I got a chance to speak to Coach Saban, he mentioned how Chris Braswell is somebody of whom Alabama has to find a role for because of his performance on A-Day. 5 tackles, 3 of those for loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble that Jalen Moody recovered for a touchdown. As good as Braswell is, and Chris Braswell is a big-time factor, you want to see Drew Sanders. U.S. fans, y'all are like, is it Drew time? Is it Sanders time? He was such a beast in high school out of Texas. He was just a killer, a madman. Can we see Drew Sanders with Will Anderson together on this field? He's been putting in a lot of effort in the weight room. He's putting in a lot of effort here, working with Dr. Matt Ray on the speed side of things. Of course, Sal Sunseri, really likes Drew at outside linebacker. So Drew Sanders, number 4, a guy that U.S. fans, is a sophomore, second year for him. Y'all want to see him break out, get on that field, and do some special things. As we go to our third guy, Big Tim Smith on the D line. We had a call coming in. We had a call that came in on Wednesday talking about, Steven, does Bama have those D linemen that can pressure up the middle, that can stop the run, that can get to the quarterback? Because we haven't had the D linemen really do this since, the guys like Payne and Quentin Williams and those guys. So do we have those defensive linemen? You're looking at one right now. Tim Smith is that type of lineman. That dude, quick, athletic, smooth, agile, fearsome. When he got on the field at times last season, you saw big-time plays from number 50. Whether he was stuffing the run, whether he was forcing fumbles, whether he was getting tackles for loss, whether he was pressuring quarterbacks. You saw quite a bit there from Big 50 when he did get on the field. And in the spring game, he was running Paul Tyson all around the field. So Tim Smith, Big 50, second year, sophomore. Keep your eyes on him in the middle of that defense. Young man from Florida can flat out play. Number 2 here, sophomore, Jace McClellan, offensively now. Jace McClellan, and last season, we saw the burst. We saw the speed. We saw the athleticism. We saw the explosiveness, especially on the 80-yard touchdown run against Arkansas on the road. We also saw him against Kentucky, where he led the team, 10 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. So Jace can do a little bit of everything. He can do it all here. And right now, he's pushing Brian Robinson to maybe even potentially be the number 1 back here in the rotation. He's been working with Brad Lester, who is an athletic trainer, an athletic coach for the Speed Genius Factory down there in Atlanta. So McClellan, the little bit we saw of him in 2020, we enjoyed it, we liked it, we appreciated it, but now we want to see more. Now we want to see more of what McClellan can bring to the table. In the spring game, he had 108 total yards offensively. He led the second team group with Paul Tyson at quarterback in the receiving aspect. So number 2, Jace McClellan, keep your eyes on him. And number 1, self-explanatory, it's Bryce Young. And who else? It's Bryce Young at quarterback. And this dude right here, we saw Saban talk about it the entire spring. He's got command of the offense. He's taking charge. He's the man now. He's being vocal. He's understanding what it takes to have everybody bought in and sold in on him. Had a strong spring game, 25 of 44 passing, 333 yards, 1 touchdown. Led White to a 13-10 victory over Crimson. Was the Dixie Howell Memorial. It was the Dixie Howell Most Valuable Player of the game. Young was, and he has spent some time back in California working with the 3D quarterback training group with the esteemed coach Taylor Kelly. They've gotten him even stronger with the mechanics, even stronger with placing the football, stronger with the accuracy, stronger with the precision. So, Bryce Young, everybody is ready to see, this was a 5-star guy that Bama brought in from California. You guys want to see the magic. All the magic, all the playmaking ability, all of the big-time skill set. You want to see it on the field. Now, the good thing here in Bryce Young's cap is, under Nick Saban, the majority of, or quite a few of first-year starting quarterbacks, they go on to win national championships in year 1. 2009, Greg McElroy, national championship, first-year starting quarterback. 2011, A.J. McCarron, national championship, first-year starting quarterback. Jacob Coker, 2015, national championship, first-year starting quarterback at Alabama. Mac Jones, this past season, national championship, first-year starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide. So we've seen this happen before. So this is a good track record. This is good information for Bryce Young because he's going into first-year starting quarterback Here's his opportunity to capture him a national championship. You guys ready to see Big 9 get this thing done on the field? But those are just the sophomores, top 5 second-year players that U.S. Tide fans, y'all want to see tear it up and do big things here for the Crimson Tide in the coming fall. We got some more super chats, so John, get the horn ready. We got Jimmy Clay again, that $10 donation. We got Mechanic, who's dropped in $15, and we got, who is this new Jack? $2 from him. More horns, more money, more excitement. Appreciating the love coming from every single last one of you guys, helping us out, making this a phenomenal show on a Friday. And as always, Tide Nation, you want the best in news, notes, and material on your favorite program. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play if you've got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you right here. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast.fm, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, or iHeartRadio. The good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Monday continuing the conversation that is Tide football. As always, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're also trying to be among the first to get that print edition of TDA, that new copy, you can do that by going to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. Also, if you're trying to copy that 4-finger bling necklace, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com, that link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, weekend is in. Continue doing the right thing, the smart thing, the fun thing, the good thing, the legitimate thing, to not be bored. You get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy Team 25. Bama softball taking on UCLA tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, ESPN2. Until next time, folks, so long, everybody. It's been in my own words.